What's going on, guys? This is Kyle, the Pitch 15. I'm just going to be talking to you all about just what kind of John, that Croatian guy, is going to be kind of called us as coaches to, hey, let's talk about it. Because on Twitter, 140 characters, I doubt will convey experiences, emotion, thought process, philosophy, anything, all in that space. Because there's a lot that we come with. And so narrowing all that down to that amount of room ain't going to happen. And so I'm going to be talking about why I'm an advocate for possession-based soccer and just kind of experience, and then as a coach, just kind of development and what I've learned and what I've experienced, and kind of the reflection and introspective and observing and learning and through talking to other coaches. Um, and so kind of just my experience. I played college ball. And in that was the first time I got any kind of tactical understanding or tactical basis or foundation for anything. It took 20 years for me even to get something remote to. I played center mid, but also out wide, and so took 20 years to get any sort of that. And so I was definitely absolutely thankful for that, because then I'm thinking as a player, my mind's churning as anytime a game would go, we're playing games, practices, my mind's like, okay, moving all around. But the downside was that our style of play was long ball. I remember so many times just running up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And it didn't really get us anywhere. We'd win games because we just hit a 70-yard ball, and we'd place the tallest guy on our team, who was 6'4", 6'5" at the time. Just a little flick on, and boom, there you go. Sometimes we'd score goals on interplay and a little bit of possession, but possession, it's just. I've spoken with coaches that say possession is like you get three, 4, 5 touches and you have possession of the ball. And where I am right now, heck no. Possession of the ball, I am doing everything. Keep it, manipulate it, control it, make sure that opponent does not touch a thing at all. And so, but kind of moving forward, so that was kind of the experience through college, and nowadays, or I should say when I first started coaching, just in talking with coaches and figuring out, hey, what is your philosophy? What is your style of play? How do you operate? How do you bring the team together? How do you make them a family or a tight-knit community? How do you deal with egos? How do you deal with the kid who thinks he's the best but tries the least, versus the kid who doesn't have the best technical but works his tail off? And kind of all that. And so, but there was always this notion of we want to play attacking soccer. So for the first year and a half, I thought attacking soccer was like a mythical formula or some kind of magic dust you just sprinkle, or like it's like getting the keys to the fanciest car. You're like, I finally have it, and I finally understand it. But as I still learned, that wasn't the case, and that there was something more that had to be done. And so it took a real kind of introspective, like turning into like, okay, I'm always analyzing not only obviously the team, but also analyzing myself as a coach constantly. Like, what can I improve? What can I do better? Just asking multiple questions, and that kind of is my filter for where I'm at now as a coach. And it kind of shocked me that a lot of the coaches I'd come in contact with, they're like, oh, we just want to develop players, and the kids decide how we're going to play, and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm going, so what happens if you're playing 8v8 when you have 8 players who are saying this, each individual, because every player likes to play differently. There'll be one player that can take everybody on 1v1, but there could be one player that is amazing at passing. But what if there's 2 players that are great at 1v1? It's like, well, give it to them all the time. Well, if they get stopped, the variables that come with coaching. And so with kind of looking forward, that was just something that kind of irked me. Was, you know, I had a hunch of like, there's got to be something deeper to this. There's got to be kind of like you peering behind the curtain. You're like, there's got to be something more. Like, what's the reality of things? And kind of in learning about how jacked up corporate America is, how MLS needs promotion relegation, and how everything's just super controlled. There wasn't any kind of going. Actually, to be honest, just lost my train of thought there. But the almost there wasn't any like foundation or philosophy that was just. I'm picking back up off way different point. I apologize, but wanting the kids to have a foundation for everything. You lay it down and then everything can grow, and kids need to be educated. I wasn't educated on tactics for 20, wasn't until I was 20, 21 did I get educated on tactics. That's way too long. I wasn't with figuring out, there's a lot of things I just have had to learn on my own, or just literally bother coaches, or just watch and see what they do and how it does it become successful. And so a big part of that was watching Pep Guardiola, Louis van Gaal, a little bit with Brendan Rodgers, Spain. I mean, even watching other national teams like Chile impressed. And then a little bit with Germany. But watching and realizing like, hey, they're doing something right here. I should probably take notes. And so it was humbly saying, yeah, I admit I'm a bad coach right now, and I'm not the best coach in the world. I'm still learning tons. But does that mean I'm still not going to work hard and try as hard as I can to improve everything? Absolutely. I'm going to work my tail off to make sure I can be the best coach I can, but we're not all perfect, and we're always learning, we're always trying. And so that's a little bit just my experience and kind of growth as a coach. And I heard when I first started really implementing possession into my development, as with an education with the players. I remember I was talking with one coach about rondos, and he was like, "Oh, you mean piggy in the middle?" Man, that almost threw me up a wall. I was like, "Oh," I was like, "You gotta be kidding me!" Like, there's so much more to that than just one person in the middle running around with their head chopped off. And so, but anyways, I'll stop keeping y'all's time. That's a tiny bit into. I'm going to definitely be uploading more videos as I can, but that's just a little bit into what I got, and also using a GoPro. And so, yeah, I'm Kyle, the Pitch 15. I'm going to be uploading. I have my own private training, one-on-one training, and small group training business here in Houston Elite Soccer. And so I'm pumped, ready for this next year of soccer to begin, so I can start actually filming my team and showing like, hey, here's my product. I can pretty much, you can see that what I'm saying is true, and I'm not just mouthing words. And so, peace out. See y'all later.